Hello, my friends. Welcome back into the living room. This is the Living Room Guitarist. Thanks for joining us once again. Hopefully you've been here multiple times with us. Appreciate that very much. My name's Dan. I'm your host. This show is dedicated to playing our instrument, our trusty 6 strings, 12 strings, our basses, whatever you got that's got some strings that you like to play and make your own music. You are absolutely welcome here in every sense of the word. We'd love to feature you on the show as a guest. We've had some really nice guests in the past. We'd like that trend to continue with your living room material. Again, our goal here is not professional musicians. We're not trying to get gigs. We're not trying to be recording artists. We're not trying to become, stars or anything like that. We're mostly amateur players who just, have, again, regular lives, regular jobs and all that. But we just like to hang out in our living rooms or our basements or wherever we like to play and just make our own music and enjoy it because we love playing. It kind of brings us that joy. It's stress relief, all that. So it's livingroomguitarist@gmail.com. Absolutely love to hear from you. If you've heard something on a past show that you'd like to respond to, maybe a piece of music spoke to you and you thought, all right, yeah, I'll play this a little bit and see what I can create with it. Being a guitar player sometimes it's like being a chef. You take different ingredients, you start messing with them and experimenting, and maybe you discover a really cool recipe that's delicious. So love to hear from you. Your own living room material, absolutely. You just collaborate with other buddies just hanging out with their instruments, and we just swap ideas back and forth and inspire each other and see what we can create in our guitars. Fun music to play together that we created ourselves. So this week we're going to start with a story. I guess I've got my stories about how I come up with ideas for tunes here, and then I'll play this kind of partially finished thing. And submit it for your consideration here, and hopefully you can have some ideas and take the next step with it, or even complete it if the spirit so moves you. So this is going back to probably 1990, early 1991. I was in this band for about 5 minutes with these guys who were really young. I was like 27 at the time, and they were all like 18, 19, just a year or two out of high school. So I'm like the old man, but my job was pretty easy. I was just the rhythm guitarist this guy wanted, so he could solo and all that. And he was actually pretty good. He was very well practiced, very accurate, and very technically skilled, I thought, and pretty nice. So, I didn't think he was terribly creative, but that's why the band didn't last. But it was fun. We had this gig one night at some little college bar at like Western Kentucky University, and we had to do this big 3.5 hour road trip or whatever. So this guy's dad had this big boat of a motorhome, and he let us use it for the gig. He said if I would drive, apparently since I was the old man, I was the driver. So we're like, all right, I guess we'll do it. So we all packed our stuff into this motorhome, and off we went. We're driving down some parkway somewhere, and just tooling around, and up next to us pulls this silver Ferrari. I'll never forget, I'd never seen a silver Ferrari before, but this beautiful blonde woman was driving it. She was just like movie star gorgeous, just stunning. And of course these clowns in the back, they're hooting and hollering out the window and messing with her. And she's playing along, smiling and having fun and all this. And they're trying to get her to pull over or something. I'm like, guys, she's just messing with you. She's just some power girl and just enjoying it. She's not going to pull over and give you her phone number or something. Oh my gosh. So eventually she pulls off and she's gone. I'm like, all right, you had your fun, let's go, and we have a gig. All right, so we get there, we do our sound check, we do the gig, everything's fine, we get the courtesy applause, and we took off back home, and it's like after 3 a.m, we get home, everyone is exhausted, me especially, and so they're all going to go and sleep in this guy's room, because they don't want to go home. It's too late and they're tired, so they're just going to go and camp out. And I'm like, you know what, guys, I'm too old for a slumber party. How about I'll just crash here in the motorhome, for a while and go home later. So fine. So I'm in there on the bed in the motorhome, and I'm just thinking about, where did I get that word power girl? What does that mean? I'm just kind of reliving this incident, driving down the parkway, and this Ferrari and this girl and all this, and I'm like, all right, what does power girl sound like musically? I have to do something. I was just too wired. So I was thinking about this, and I just, again, recipe, experiment with ingredients, and I came up with this kind of a walk up on this major 7th from an F sharp. And I just started like that. That's what it sounds like, zooming down the parkway, and messing with these kids in the motorhome. And I'm trying to figure out, all these years I've been trying to figure out what's the right intro for a tune like this. And I came down here, I'm just throwing this out there, and I'd love to hear your ideas for how a song like this could get started once you hear me play some more of it. we go. That's kind of the basics of it. I'm trying to figure out a bridge, you know. I was coming down here kind of messing with minor sevenths. To me, that's just what it was, motoring down the road, being a power girl, you know, whatever that means. I have no idea, but that's just what I had to do that evening by myself in the motorhome. By this time, it's like 5 a.m. or something. So I'll tell you what I'm doing here. I started, again, with an intro, just kind of 6 and 4, just going back and forth to see, does that work? Could I play it accurately, or I miss notes again? Let's come back to a B. I'd like to get some input from my fellow living roomers on this. What's a good intro for this tune? Never really sure, but the basics of it is this. It all comes from, basically we're on an A flat bar chord here, so I'm barring, you know, so 4th fret, 6th fret, 6th fret, then I'm going to stretch out to the 8th on the 3rd and 4th string down. So it's almost like a blues rhythm. And then back to that A flat 7th here. So it's and walk it back on that 7th and back up. Really, the strumming pattern, I think, is a big key on that one to kind of get the flavor I'm looking for that song. Coming down to a C sharp, I'm going to bar that, and then I'm going to stretch out to the 8th fret for this 3rd string up, and the 7th fret for the 2nd string up. Okay, so it's the chord here, just a little bit of accent. Again, 4th fret, and then 6th fret, and then stretching out to the 8th, and then back to the 7th, 3rd string up, 3rd string up, 2nd string up. Back to that 7th, that F sharp major 7th, and walk that up. So from the top, either way. Did it a couple times, however many times you want, and it's C sharp. I'm just playing with 7s here, the C sharp major 7 down here. So again, you're barring that 4th fret for the bass note here, and then it's 6th fret, 3rd string down, 6th fret, 2nd string up, and then that 5th fret is that 3rd string up, right? And I'm going to let go of that 5th fret. Come back to a standard F sharp. minor, and walk it back up to that 6th fret, or 4th fret, excuse me, 4th fret, and then 6th fret, 2nd string, 4th fret, 3rd string down, and then 6th fret, 4th string down. So I guess it's like a 6th. Right, here we go. Maybe you can come back here. Messy. A bridge maybe. I was down here on the B flat minor 7 and just kind of hammering on, but you know, again, whatever makes sense to you, you can kind of help create something here. So that's kind of the basics of Power Girl musically. Not sure what kind of meaning to attach to that, but it was fun to make up in the middle of the night there after that little experience. So I invite you to kind of play around with it and see what's possible on your own fretboard. Love to hear your ideas, and then share it back with us, what you've done. Say, hey, here's where I went with it, and what can our other living roomers have? Or maybe you're so inspired to write lyrics for it based on the whole concept of that experience. Whatever. Would love to hear from you. livingroomguitarist@gmail.com. Please contact us if you'd love to be a guest on the show. You are absolutely welcome in here. If you can play this guitar, whether you've been playing for 2 months or 20 years, who cares? It's just fun to play and share our ideas back and forth and just make music together because it's fun. All right, so we'll see you next time on the Living Room Guitarist. Please subscribe, and thanks for joining us today as I just play this out a tiny bit here.